Good evening, friends. I am wore out from the day, and you would think I did a lot, but I just went to Top Golf with my team. I feel like, it's hump day. This week has just been, I've been working on a lot of projects and a lot of things, and also feeling like Beyonce out here, hair blowing in the wind. Hopefully, it's not too distracting or that my stuff doesn't like fly away. Wish me luck here. Dallas is so unpredictable with the weather. Like, it's hot, it's cold, it's windy. Like, what's happening here? But yeah, no, I just really wanted to talk about my creative projects. I know I mentioned it in my kind of welcome video and some of my kind of other like videos about how I'm working on a kids book series with my family. Just a little background. So my mom, so cute, no money, lots of creativity, and lots of love. And so when I was in elementary school, for my birthday, she would write a kids book called Brittany's Big Adventures. And she would bring that year's book to my class on my birthday and bring cupcakes and, read it to my class. It was adorable. And I think that, like, over all these years, I just never really realized how special or unique that was, to have a mom that's so creative and who can come up with something. I think that this is just like my own stuff that I work through. Is just like growing up kind of at the poverty line. I think I was always thinking about, or below. I was always thinking about what I didn't have and like all the like presents that I didn't get. But now, as an adult, as I think through this, I'm like, wow, this is actually super special. And I feel so like honored and so like blessed to have been able to have um, this kind of experience. So yeah. Anyway, my mom also, she's just like super creative. She's like written her own books, but nothing has ever been published. And so one of the things that I kind of assigned myself in adulthood was to make sure that my mom was able to publish in her lifetime and to get that experience. I've published before a book of poems with an indie publisher in Ann Arbor back in my early 20s. And so I've been published, and I know what that feels like. And I had the support to do so. So yeah. So anyway, I decided to embark on this, but I realized that one, I have a portfolio lifestyle. I've got my game company, I've got my day job, I've got YouTube now, and I've got my creative pursuits. And so I really wanted to make sure that I brought this to life, but I needed to get some support. And while thinking through this, it's actually so interesting because I never thought of this before. Why not make it like a family project? So, a bit more context as well. So, I come from a very visually creative family. Visually, also like singing and just creative thinking in general. Most of my family members, I'm talking mom, nieces and nephews, cousins, you name it. Even my grandmother was a seamstress, my grandpa was a mason. Um, just come from like a super creative, talented family, but I feel as if they never got the shine or to be able to put those projects forward in a way that had any meaningful impact, especially financially. And so I was just like, why don't I make this a family project and have, a couple of members of my family, including my mom, to help me reimagine what these books could look like in a more commercial way. So I'm talking like my mom, she hand drew these books and hand illustrated. And so I wanted to really take that from the kind of hand illustrations to a more modern commercialized version that we could see on stores and see on merch, and that could maybe one day be some kind of animation, or who knows, like a game. And so yeah, I decided that we were going to make this book, a series of books. Actually, there's six. And we would just work together to make it happen. And that kicked off Sunday and I'm overjoyed. I was on a video call with my mom and my niece, and we were just talking about, what this project was and how we were going to bring it to life and how I needed their support. And they were just hype. If they see this video, y'all was hype. Don't lie. So it was just like really so freaking cool. And I think that like there are many things at play here. I think one of them is just that like my family deserves to see what it's like to bring your creative work and be paid for it. I have another brother on my dad's side who is a painter, and seeing him bring his creativity to life and then get represented by the Conduit Gallery and being able to be acquired by all these museums and collections and selling out shows and having his show at the museum in Houston, it was just an incredible thing to watch. And I think that, between the two of us, we've both made art that has been out in the world. But when I think about my greater family, it really is just such talented people with not enough resources or time, even. When I think about my mom growing up, her being so creative, but, being a single mom and raising two kids and working like three jobs at once, she was always the hair braider, cooking, cleaning, any kind of job you can possibly think of. She even taught origami once, um, which my mom is ridiculous, which is probably why. Hello, welcome to Ridiculous City. But nonetheless, like, just so much creativity, so much talent, but not enough money to back it and not enough time to take it seriously. And so I really want to use this book not only to work with my mom and my nieces to bring this to life and to be able to commercialize something that I think could be really special for a lot of kids, and a lot of parents and families, especially because the book is about curiosity and creativity and exploration and, seeing that the world is in your own place, but also understanding that the world is bigger. And I think that those kind of themes will really resonate with parents who want to build kids that are like, not build, but raise kids that are world citizens and that really are empathetic to other people and the world around them. And so, yeah, so nonetheless, this is popping off. But if it works out really well, then this could really feed into what I am envisioning as a family fund, where we have this kind of trust where a portion of the proceeds or the kind of profits from this book would go into this family fund, and we would use that for our other family members to go to school, get a trade, fund their own creative projects or entrepreneurship. I didn't even touch on that one actually, because I always felt like, while I personally, I curate a little Instagram page, and I cannot afford myself as an interior designer yet, but I would hope to think that, like, yeah, that's like, my visual kind of contribution. But I'm not a visual artist. I was a classically trained singer. I'm an entrepreneur and creative strategist, but I really did not feel like I fit in with my family fully, especially because so many are visually creative. And so I wanted to make sure that the fun also encompassed just creative strategy and thinking and big ideas. And then also, obviously, some stuff that's just like more practical, like an emergency fund and transportation and, things like that, or like helping people get their house. I mean, I don't know how big this can get, but I mean, I'm sure that other families that are not Black are thinking bigger. And so I just, I'm using this creative project to help us then build an infrastructure for more creativity in the family and more ways for people in our lineage to be able to actualize the things that they create and they build, and to actually have um, that confidence and courage and backing to even try. Because I think that for me, I just had the audacity to even try, and I've been able to make things happen and bring products to life. And game design is creative as well. Okay, I'm creative, whatever. I'm just not creative in the same way as everybody else, and that's probably where my talent lies. It's the fact that, like, because I'm not like them, but I am someone who can bring things to life, and my creativity comes there. And I also have the business acumen and background to like make things happen. I'm a make it happen girl. Established 2008. I'm just joking. My birthday's in October 1990, so established then. But nonetheless, I'm rambling. But yeah, so I decided to make this book something that could actually set up my family for the future if we can really do it right. And the meeting on Sunday was just so incredible to get started. And even my niece had ideas about like distribution and like festivals that we could pop up at. And we're working through a Kickstarter campaign, and we've been having revisions coming back from the illustrator, and that we all been like giving feedback on, and it's really just in motion. I think that my strength is being in motion and really making things have some motion. And so hopefully we can make it have a lot of motion, so no one will be calling me for money in the family. But for real, let me be for real. Yeah, I'm really really pumped for what this future could be. And I am, how do I say, I'm emotional to be able to bring a project to life that can be so special for my mom, for my family, and for myself. Because this book that we're developing in this like kind of universe around Brittany's Big Adventures is about me. I'm someone who, I don't know if it was a prophecy. I don't know what juju she worked on me, but with like her making this series when I was in elementary school, and then I went on to travel to 50 countries to start businesses. To I've lived abroad. I've had this really big, interesting, cool, creative life, and so my life has been big adventures, and so it is just the most special thing in the world to be able to bring something to life that is so personal, but that is so impactful for others. And if we can make it into a game, which I hope so, it could be this cool game for kiddos, and like, oh, this is so cool. Like, this is really, really cool. So yeah, that's really what I've been thinking about a lot this week. I think just because the project kicked off, and because we're already giving revisions, and we're already kind of planning what festivals we might do and who is going to do what, and all those things. It is so real, and I hope that we can make something of this, especially for the sake of my family. I think that we, again, I know I said this like 50 times already, but like, we are so creative, and we are such like like thoughtful, empathetic, hardworking people that really deserve to see their selves actualize their ideas, and to be able to use this as like an engine or a foundation for something like that feels like life changing. And I don't care if it makes $5 or $5 million, anything that shows that your creativity can be turned into something is worthwhile. Anything that brings the family together to actually highlight their talents and to help build confidence, and all those type of things, it's worth it. To be able to make this for my mother while she's still alive, and that she can enjoy it, and be a part of it, is also so special. And so yeah, I just hope that I not hope, I know that we're going to kill this. And I know that this is going to be special for all of us, no matter how big or small it is. And I just can't wait. I can just like I can just see it. It's like we're at the Ann Arbor Art Fair, we're at the Detroit, like African Festival, we're at the Literary Festival, and wherever. And we're cleaning up, and we're telling our story, and like like a real like family business, a real, like, I can see us just there, different family members staffing the booth, my nieces, my nephews, our cousins, and just allowing them to tell our story, and for us to have our own narrative and our own kind of canon of work that we produce for this world. So your girl is so emotional. And also just thankful that um that in general that I have worked really, really hard to improve my station in life. I have, done all the studies. I've been creative. I've tried. I've failed, and so to be able, it's a blessing to be able to be equipped to even lead this project and to even be like thinking through how this could come about, not just from book to potential game, but also like family trust and like how do we make this bigger than ourselves, and how do we make it happen with such little resources and such little time, um, and to be able to do that kind of strategic creative thinking. I feel really blessed and really like ready for this moment, and it's because of how I've invested in myself and in my time, and how I've allowed myself to try and to fail and to try and to fail and to try to fail, and lots of failing and a lot of trying and success, like some, so that's enough rumbling for the day, guys. But I feel so blessed and I feel so creative, and I can see why creativity can be you like I know that for example, like there's art therapy and stuff. I feel like I've been having a bit of a hard season, and I'm far away from home. I'm far away from like the kind of life that I was used to, and so I feel like this creative project is not only helping my family, but it's helping me be grounded in who I am and helping me produce something in this kind of tougher season. And so, um, wow, you know, like between this and my games and maybe some writing I might do, and just putting my stuff out here on YouTube and beyond, I'm just feeling like I'm in my creative season. Like, what? Welcome. Welcome to Brittany's creative season. We're back, baby. Um, okay, that's enough. That's enough. Um, Let me go in and make myself some dinner and like I have all this stuff to do for Donde Studio for my game company, and like onboarding my interns and stuff like that. And so let me go and keep this movement going, like I said. But it was just like I just needed a second to really just like think through what this moment means to me, what it means to my family. And every time we get an update from the illustrator, I'm like, this is so real. This is so cool. And like it could be in stores and libraries and classrooms, and it could, I think that a lot of what people don't realize about legacy and about, just like making your impact on this world is that like when you build products and IP, and when you're writing and you're sharing and you're contributing to a greater kind of archive of work, it's really special. And as a Black American, it's super special to be able to create work that goes in this larger like canon of these like post-genocidal people who have lived in a country that is being against us, and still continues to be. There's Black bodies hanging in the South again. There's, you know, so many crazy things happening. So to be able to create and to build and to have optimism is something that I do not take for granted whatsoever. And to be able to bring my family along with me, I mean, come on, y'all. So I'll give you more updates, about this project, and hopefully I'll and once we get a little closer, I can show you some of the kind of design process and kind of final selection as we get closer to our Kickstarter and all of that kind of stuff. But I just really appreciate y'all for always listening to my ramblings, and I know that my ideas and my things, like I said, portfolio lifestyle, but it can be a little overwhelming for some to be able to distill all the things that make me me and all the things that I am working on and that I'm passionate on all at once. And one friend told me like, "Oh, it's so overwhelming when when you tell me all the things," and I'm just like, "I know, but I did not choose this life. This life chose me." which I'm grateful for, and I will be the steward of, and I will still take care of myself and rest and eat and, socialize. And I'm not all business all the time, but this is special, guys. So thanks for watching.